So, you've got that itch, right? You want to build a SaaS company. That dream of creating something that solves a real problem, something that brings in that sweet, sweet recurring revenue? Well, that dream is more alive than ever. But here's the thing. The game has completely changed. So let's just forget the old playbook for a minute and dive into the new rules for building a successful SaaS today.
You know, for so many people thinking about this is the big question. Is jumping in and launching a software-as-a-service company your ticket to freedom and making an impact? Or is it just a technical and financial nightmare waiting to happen? Well, it turns out the answer really depends on the playbook you decide to use.
I mean, that Silicon Valley myth is so seductive, isn't it? Build something cool, get a ton of funding, and scale to the moon. But the reality for most founders, it's hitting a brick wall of technical complexity. You get totally lost worrying about stuff like multi-tenant databases or bad neighbor servers crashing your app. And all of this is happening while you're facing this insane pressure to grow at all costs, which often leads to total burnout before you even find your first paying customer.
But what if we could de-risk that dream? What if there was a better way? Well, there is. A whole new generation of tools, frameworks, and honestly entire philosophies is changing the landscape, making it possible to build smarter, not just harder.
Okay, this right here, this is probably the single most important mindset shift you can make. The old way was to lock yourself in a garage for a year, building a product in total isolation. The new rule? Just stop. You have to validate your idea first. Before you write a single line of code, you need to know if people actually want what you're thinking of building, and this is the big one, if they're willing to pay for it.
All right, so how do you actually validate an idea without just guessing? A fantastic place to start is something called the 5PM framework. That's for problem, purchaser, pricing model, market, and product/founder fit. It basically forces you to answer all the hardest questions right at the beginning. First up, problem. Is this a real burning pain point for someone? Next, purchaser. Who exactly is going to buy this? Then pricing. How are you going to charge for it? And market. Who else is out there? And finally, maybe the most important, product/founder fit. Are you the right person to build this? Answering these honestly can save you years of wasted time.
And that framework, it feeds directly into a really clear, actionable process. You evaluate your idea using those 5 PMs, then you gather data, kind of like the founders of Trello did when they just scoured forums to see what project management problems people were complaining about. Then you actually go talk to those potential customers. And only after all of that do you build an MVP, a minimum viable product. Just a super stripped-down version of your product to test your core idea and get real feedback.
And here's where things get really, really cool. That MVP we just talked about, you might not even need to hire a developer to build it. There's this whole ecosystem of no-code and low-code tools that has just exploded. It's created this amazing bridge that lets anyone with a great idea, technical or not, build and test it super quickly. And please, don't mistake this for some small niche trend. The no-code development industry was projected to hit $21 billion by 2022. That's not a trend, that's a seismic shift in who gets to be a creator on the internet. Okay, so you've validated your idea. Maybe you even built a killer MVP with some no-code tools, and you're ready to build the real thing. But what about those scary technical hurdles we talked about earlier? Well, the good news is, the very foundations of how we build things on the internet have gotten a lot smarter too. Remember the old nightmare of shared hosting? Your app's performance is basically at the mercy of thousands of other sites on the same server. One of your bad neighbors gets a traffic spike and your site goes down. Now, it's a different world. Modern cloud VPS solutions give you your own isolated, dedicated resources. You get real scalability and clear rules, so you can actually grow without being afraid.
And what about those really deep, complex challenges, like designing a database that can handle thousands of different customers securely? The kind of stuff that used to keep founders up at night? Well, what used to be a technical maze now has well-established patterns and solutions. You're not inventing the wheel anymore. You're building on the proven knowledge of everyone who came before you.
So this brings us to what I think is the most important shift of all. It's not just about the tools you use or the tech you build on. It's about your entire philosophy. It's about completely redefining what success even means for a founder in the first place. It's a philosophy called Micro-SaaS, but don't let that name fool you. This isn't about building a small business, it's about building an intentional one. It's a conscious choice to build a profitable, sustainable company that serves your life. And it's a direct rejection of that Silicon Valley mandate of growth at all costs.
Tyler Tringas, who really helped popularize the term, put it perfectly.
The goal is to tackle a problem that could be truly solved with a solo founder or very small team. See, it's not about avoiding ambition. It's about applying that ambition with intense focus and efficiency.
I love this analogy from Pritham Nath. Think of it as the digital mom-and-pop store. Instead of one massive impersonal superstore trying to serve everyone, the new internet is made up of millions of specialized little boutiques, each one serving a very specific niche with incredible care and expertise.
And that is the core strategy, right here. You're not trying to take over the entire game board. The whole goal of a Micro-SaaS is to find your corner of the market, serve that community better than anyone else, and build a really strong, defensible business right there. So what does this look like in practice? Well, it means building systems that are low maintenance and highly automated, so the business doesn't completely run your life. It means hiring is a super deliberate, careful choice, not just a race to grow your headcount. It means a ruthless focus on profit from day one and a deep, non-negotiable commitment to a sustainable work-life balance for you and anyone on your team.
A really powerful strategy for Micro-SaaS is to not build in a vacuum, but to build right on top of the platforms where your customers already are.
Just look at these brilliant examples. Potion turns your Notion pages into a full website. Typefully creates an amazing writing experience on top of Twitter. Shield app gives LinkedIn creators the deep analytics they're desperate for. See the pattern? They all succeed by adding a specific, valuable layer to a platform their customers already use every single day.
And another proven path is to build tools that integrate deeply into existing ecosystems and marketplaces. It's the same idea here. Products like Delight Chat and Gem Pages are built for the massive Shopify ecosystem, solving specific headaches for store owners. Simple Pull has become a must-have for thousands of teams on Slack. They thrive not by creating a whole new destination, but by becoming an essential part of their customers' existing workflow.
So when you put it all together, all these new tools, smarter technologies, powerful philosophies, the game is fundamentally changed. The most important question for a founder today is no longer, can I even build this? But instead, what kind of business do I truly want to build?
And that presents two totally valid paths. On one side, you have that traditional high-growth, venture-backed model, always chasing market share and rapid scale. But on the other, you have this powerful company of one mindset, a deliberate choice to stay small, prioritize profit and freedom, and build a business that is sustainable and enjoyable for the long haul.
So here's the thought I want to leave you with. Maybe we've all been chasing the wrong metric. Maybe the future isn't about creating a few more billion-dollar unicorns. Maybe it's about fostering a thriving ecosystem of thousands of smaller, highly profitable, and sustainable businesses. The tools are here, the playbook has been written. The only question left is, what will you build?